Hello everyone and welcome to the series of pre-conference interviews. My name is Nadia Khan. You can hear me, but certainly you can't see me. I'm the Publicity Committee Chair for the TESOL Canada 2015 conference. And today we have with us here Shelley McConnell. Shelley is an ELL instructor at Bow Valley College. She works with ESL Literacy learners. Hello Shelley.
Hi Nadia.
Welcome to this interview, and thank you so much for doing this for us. Shelley is presenting at the conference in October, and we thought that it would be interesting to ask her a couple of questions. So Shelley, what is the title of your presentation?
The title of my presentation is Visuals and ESL Literacy Learning.
And what's it about?
Well, it's a workshop designed for instructors who, like me, work with learners who have never been to school before or only have a small amount of formal education and from oral cultures. And it's about the challenges that these learners face when trying to learn how to interpret the images we use in class to introduce and mediate text.
So what made you interested in researching on this topic?
Well, when I first started teaching in ESL Literacy many years ago, my assumption was that ESL Literacy learners required a lot of really rich visuals to be able to understand the text, and I thought I'd be bringing in just huge numbers of images to help them understand text. But I soon learned that these learners needed to learn how to read images as well, and that they needed something else to mediate the images before we used images to mediate the text. And that's really what got me interested in the topic.
So what are a couple of key points in your workshop that you find fascinating?
What I found really fascinating about this topic is that learners not only need to learn how to interpret the symbols and icons that they see in images, but that we might need to back up even further and work with seeing the elements in those symbols and icons. And so in the workshop, we'll be really exploring together the idea of visual perception and what constitutes visual perception, and helping learners to develop those visual perception skills to be able to interpret the images that they use, two-dimensional images in particular. People with a lot of literacy have a lot of background with being able to really dive in and visually see those images that are two-dimensional, but people who come from more oral cultures don't have as much practice, and so we'll be looking a lot at visual perceptual skills.
So are you also going to look at the role of colors in these visual images that you're talking about?
For sure, that's actually one aspect. That's called visual discrimination, and visual discrimination constitutes a lot of different elements, and color is one of those things, and the color is one aspect of visual perception that can be challenging for those people from oral cultures, and we're really going to look a lot at color. Yeah.
That sounds like a really exciting workshop. So Shelley, you're from Calgary, and you've been to Lake Louise before. So what's your impression of Lake Louise?
Well, I'm actually a prairie girl, and one of my very first experiences of the mountains was spring skiing when I first moved out to Calgary at Lake Louise, and it was just so incredible to be able to experience 4 seasons as you go from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain in the spring, and so that was a completely new experience, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing it again in the fall season.
So what other presentations are you looking forward to at the TESOL Canada conference?
Well, in addition to the really amazing keynote speakers that are coming, there's a couple that have really caught my eye, and one of them is a presentation by, I believe her name is Simone Hengit from the University of Regina, and she's going to be talking about First Nations cultures and how they're introduced in ESL classes. And because I work with ESL literacy learners who come from incredibly rich oral traditions, but may have also experienced some of those, the impacts of colonialism, I think there's some really good opportunities for some intersections between those two communities. So that's one I'm really looking forward to And I'm also looking forward to some of the PBLA presentations as well, because it's really been on my mind about how to use this initiative with this really specialized demographic. So I'll definitely be hitting some of the PBLA sessions as well.
Thank you so much, Shelley. Thank you for taking time out. It was great talking to you.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you.